Hello and welcome to a new asynchronous episode and lesson. Today we're doing progress test 3. This is in your workbooks, page 66, 7, 8, and 69. So let's get started with the lesson. The first exercise says reading. Here, complete the article below with words from this list. Use each word only once. So we're going to use each word, remember, only once. We have but, can, from, got, has, me, my, of, so, to, used, and was. So here the passage said city or country, as apparently here we're going to have some kind of comparison, so let's get to read it. I was born in the country, and for the first 18 years of life, yes, my life, I lived there. My family farm was in the middle of nowhere. 5 kilometers, our nearest neighbors. 5 kilometers, yes, from. So here 5 kilometers from our nearest neighbors and 10 from the nearest school, shops, and post office. As a child, I enjoyed life in the open air, but when I was 18, I went right to university and couldn't believe how incredible city life was. Yes, you guessed it right. So, in comparison with my life on the farm, my new life was exciting, challenging, and very varied. I to know a lot of new people, and I went to many places. Here we have to, yes, I got to know a lot of new people, and I went to many places. Of course, this one is easy for you. Of course, everything moves much more quickly in the city, and that sometimes be stressful. That can, okay, sometimes be stressful, but at least you know um, you are alive. In the country, you sometimes forget. Now, in line 10, it says, obviously, city life, its disadvantages like the noise. So here we're going to take, yes, has its disadvantages like noise, the traffic, and the crowds of people. But these things don't worry too much. Don't worry me too much. Very good. I don't drive traffic problems. I don't drive, so traffic problems and parking difficulties don't affect me. It only takes me 10 minutes by taxi. I can get to the supermarket in a few minutes, whereas in the old days in the country, a shopping trip to take half a day. Yes, very good. Used to take. In line 15, maybe I want you to go back to the peace and quiet of the country one day. For now, so we say, but for now, I'm enjoying the hustle and bustle of city life. Remember, we said hustle and bustle as an idiom. Very good. Let's move on to exercise number 2. It says, read the article again and answer these questions. So these questions are on the reading passage. The first one says, where did the writer live as a child? All right. So when we go back to the passage, he said, I was born in the country. All right. And as a child, I enjoyed life in the open air. So the answer would be on a farm in the country in the middle of nowhere, as he described. Question B, how far did he have to travel to go to school? How far? All right. So see here again. Yes. Very good. So the answer is 10 kilometers. Very good. The next question says, see, why did he first move to the city The reason behind this moving was to go to university because he lived in the country, and apparently they had no university there. The next question says, how was his life different when he moved to the city? What are the changes? Of course, yes. His new life was exciting, challenging, and very varied. He got to know a lot of new people and went to more places. Very good. And the last question is, what disadvantage of city life does the writer mention? So when he talked about city life, yes, it can be stressful because of noise, traffic, crowds of people, but he has a way around this. Very good job. The next question says, number 3, choose the correct answer from the article above. Again, we're still doing the same passage. So the word that in line 8 refers to, if we go back, okay, this is line 8, and this is our word. Okay, so yes, the answer is everything moving more quickly. All right. The next says the expression the hustle and bustle in the last line means liveliness, mess, or happiness. It certainly is liveliness of the city. It's full of activity and noise accordingly. The next question C. One can infer from the article that the writer or one would prefer to live in the country for the rest of his or her life, is satisfied with city life despite all its disadvantages, or number 3, finds the city to be the perfect place to live in. Of course, is satisfied with the city life despite its disadvantages. He knows that there are a number of disadvantages, but still he is satisfied with the city life. Very good. Let's move on to this exercise of language practice. And here we need to remember the reported questions. If you can remember, when we used to report questions, we have here some questions, and we need to start each reported question with I asked, and we're going to answer, and for each reply, we're going to start with he said. So I asked, and he said. So here, these are the direct questions or the original questions and answers. Those we need to report. So the first one, A, the question, what's your name? So when we report that, we start with I asked, and then here we have a question word, what. So we're going to use it and then continue the sentence. It's going to be like this. I asked him what, and then your name becomes his name because I'm asking a person here, and is becomes was in the past. So this is how we report questions or WH questions. And the answer is Sabih. This is the answer. We're going to start with he said, and then it was Sabih. Let's try to do another one. Where do you live? Where do you live? Yes, good job. I asked, yes, him, where. I'm going to use where. And then I have here, do you live? This is present. I'm going to change it into past, and it becomes he lived. So the answer would be, I asked him where he lived. And for the answer, city center, I'm going to say, to start with he said. So he said he lived in the city center. All right. The next question, where did you live before that? And as the previous ones, we're going to do the same. I asked him where, very good. And then here I have did. This is which tense is this one, present or past? Yes, it is past, so I'm going to make it past perfect. So it's going to be where he had lived, and then before that. If you noticed here, we don't need the question mark anymore because it's not a question, it's a sentence now. So we end it with a full stop, as you see here. All right. The next one, in the country, this is the answer. So it's going to be he said he had lived in the country. The next question, this time we don't have a WH question. We have the second type of questions, which is yes, very good, yes, no questions. Here, did you enjoy living there? Remember, we said that to join a sentence, a question like this, when we report it, we need to use if or whether. So we're going to do the same. I asked him if or whether. Okay, so this is how we do it. We use if or whether, whichever one you like. And then here it's past. Did you enjoy? So we're going to make it perfect. It becomes past perfect. Had enjoyed, and then living there. And the answer is yes. So we're going to say he said he had. I don't have to use yes. He had or he enjoyed it or living there most of the time. Let's do another question. Yes, no question this time again. Are you married? So, yes, I asked him. Very good. If or whether again. And then he was. Of course, here we have you, and you goes back to him. Okay, so we say and are in the past here is going to be was. He was. And then married, and we change the question mark into a full stop. So it becomes like this. The next one, the answer is not yet, next month. So we say he said he wasn't married yet. This is one, but that he was getting married next month. Okay, or I can say next or the following month. The next question is, what is your job? This is the first type, WH question. So now you can do it yourselves. So I asked him what, very good, his job, and is changed into was. So I asked him what his job was. So your job becomes his job. Teacher, this is the answer. He said he was a teacher. Okay. Remember, we have here the same verb. So he was, and then the answer is a teacher. Now, question G is a WH question or yes, no question. Very good. It's a yes, no question. So we use if or whether again here. I asked him if whether or he worked in a school, because here we have do work. This is present, so we make it past simple, worked. No university, so it becomes he said he didn't, or he said he worked in a university. Now I don't use no or yes, as we said before, and we change them into the affirmative. He said he didn't for the negative, or he said he had for the positive, or the affirmative. So he said he worked in a university. We can say this as well. The last question here is H. What subject do you teach? So this is a very good WH question. So I asked him, yes, what subject? And then do you teach? Here we don't need do anymore, and we change this into past, so it becomes he taught. And the answer economics is going to be he taught economics. Very good job, everyone. This is a quick revision of reporting questions or reporting questions and answers. All right, I hope you got it now right and don't make such mistakes in the future. Right, the next question is rewrite the following sentences in the inverted form. Remember, we had this inversion, and the inversion is when we change the position of the helping verb and the subject. Let's do this one and then you'll get it. Tourists seldom visit this old city. So which word can we start with to make this inversion? Absolutely correct. So it is seldom. So we say seldom do tourists visit this old city. So here we have tourists, this is the subject, and then visit, this is the verb. So we have tourists visit, all right. But here we don't have a helping verb. So because this is present, we add do here to make it inverted or in a question-like form. So seldom do tourists visit this old city. All right, let's do the second one. I was treated so poorly that I left in disgust. So how can we begin? Which words are we going to use to make this kind of inversion? Very good. We have so here. So we're going to start with it. And it becomes so poorly was I treated. Now here we have the subject, remember, and then was. So we do this inversion by having was I, okay, like here, and then we complete the whole sentence. Was I treated? So easy, straightforward. Um, I guess now you know how to do it. I could scarcely believe what was happening. Yes, the word is scarcely. So we start with it, and then we have, where's the subject? Yes, I, and the helping verb could. So we say, scarcely could I believe my eyes. Okay, so scarcely could I believe. The next one, the I have never been so sure of something. Here we have the word never, so and then we have the subject I, and then have. So start with never and becomes never have I. So we invert have and I becomes have I in a question format, and these are the words that if we start with these words like seldom, so an adjective or an adverb, scarcely, never, okay, rarely. We have a lot of words, no sooner, hardly, and so on. So we have a lot of words we studied that need inversion or inverted form to be used. The next exercise is number 3. Answer these questions starting with no and follow the example. So let's see the example. A. Did Walid repair the computer himself? No, he had it repaired. So here we have had, and then it, and then repaired. Do you remember this? This is what the causative. Okay, and remember we use to have plus the object plus verb 3 or past participle. Okay, keep this in mind. So we need to use verb to have in the correct form. Here we have did, and this is past, so we use had, and then the computer is the object, we use it, and then verb 3 is repaired. Now, can you do this yourselves? Yes, let's try it. Did Hamid take his own tooth out? Okay, so in the answer, I'm going to say no. Very good. No, he had it taken out. Again, here we have past, so we have had in the past, and then it is his own tooth, and then take out is taken out, this verb 3. All right, let's do C, the next one. Are they going to build their own house? Again, we're going to start with no. Here, this time we have going, are going to, and then the verb is build. Yes, the object is their own house, so we say, no, they are going to have, so here I'll take are, going to, and then have, and then it, their own house, and then verb 3 of build becomes built. All right, the next one, did you put that TV aerial up yourself? So they start with no, and then subject, I, And then in the past, because we have did, had, it, and then verb 3, put, no change. It's put. So here it's going to be the same. The next one here we have will. All right. Will you cut down those trees yourself? No. All right. You're going to have I and then will. Very good. Will or will have them, because here we have plural, trees cut down. Okay. And the last one, did you clean the car? Here, we're going to start with the subject. No, I had. This is past again. And then it, which is the car, and then cleaned, which is verb 3. Now, this is simply, again, the causative to have, object, and verb 3. All right? Okay, let's move on to exercise number 4. And this is situations or language functions. So what would you say in the following situation? Let's see here situations. On the exam, you're going to have a question like this. You work at a shop and you are offering help. For example, you can say, can I help you at all? Is there anything I can do for you? And so on. The second one be, you want to ask when the next train leaves. So this basically is a question. Yes, you can say, start with excuse me, and then when does the train or the next train leave, and then don't forget to say please. So start with excuse me and then please. The next one, see, you're giving advice to your friend who looks tired from overwork. Here you're giving advice, so yes, you should. We usually use you should, or you ought to take a break. You look exhausted. The last situation here says you need directions to the city center. So when you ask for directions, you say, yes, excuse me. Again, could you tell me how to get to? Could you tell me how to get to? And then you can say the place where you want to go. So could you tell me how to get to the nearest hospital, the museum, the city center, and then don't forget please. So we start with excuse me, as you see here and here, and then say please. All right. The next question is number 5. Choose the correct words in these sentences. Let's read them together. The first one, A. Before we can sell the flat, we'll have to do it up or do without it. If you can remember expressions with do and make. Yes, do it up. Very good. And the second one, the students had to make of or make up a story for their homework. Remember the meaning of, yes, make up is to invent a story that is not true. The next one, see, if anyone banks online, they'll do away with or do without banks. So, yes, do away with. Right. The next question or sentence D, are you happy with the decision you did or make? Now, here we have decision. Is it with did or made? Yes, was made. All right. So here we have to make a decision. The next one, E, was that bang or splash the sound of someone jumping into the swimming pool? What happens? What is the sound of jumping into the swimming pool? Very good. It's a splash. Sound of water here is splash. F, we usually do or make the shopping. Now here, remember, shopping. Yes, do the shopping. We don't make, we do the shopping at the weekend. And J, let's turn the television off and have some peace and bustle or peace and quiet for a change. That's an expression. Yes, peace and quiet. Very good. The next one, H, he said he didn't want to swim, but he changed his music or tune when he saw the pool. Yes, very good. His tune. Right, to change your tune means here to change your mind. The last one, people came from far and long or far and wide to see the exhibition. Yes, the one that you've learned is far and wide means from everywhere to see this. Right. Let's move on to the next exercise, which is one word in each of these conversations is wrong. So we have a mistake. We need to correct, underline it, and write the correct word at the end of the sentence. So let's read it together. A, what's that you're throwing out? Oh, it's just some evens and odds and ends. So you see, I said it like evens. So we say odds and ends, not evens and ends. So the mistake here, we underline the word evens and we add odds and ends. B, what do you enjoy most about city life? I think it's probably the hustle and whistle. Is it whistle? Think about it. No, it is bustle. Hustle and bustle, not whistle. The next one, C, do you take sugar in your tea? He said, yes, I have tried to do within it, but I can't. Do within, does that sound right? No, of course, do within, it's do without. Right. The next one, D, I'm fed up with all this noise. Why don't you go next door and sit in peace? What about this one? We have spelling mistake. Yes, peace. It's like this. P-E-A-C-E. So it's not the other one. P-I-E-C-E. It's P-E-A-C-E. Very good, everyone. You're doing great so far. So let's move on to exercise number 7. Rewrite the following sentences inserting one of the sports idioms below. Remember sports idioms? Yes. The first one says, A, it's up to you to decide whether to accept the job offer. So when we want to say it's up to you to decide, we say the ball is in your court. All right, and then you continue. So the ball is in your court means it's up to you. You are the one who is going to make this decision. Right, if we practice every day, we will win the match very easily. So, yes, we matches with number 4 blow the competition away. Okay, so blow something away. Here it means to win it very easily. The match very easily. The next one, I'm so busy during the tour season, I can barely keep up with my work. So which one matches this? Very good. Number 2, keep my head above water, right? So here, uh, the matching with these idioms from 1 to 5, we have now used number 2 and used number 4. Very good. The next one, during the first week of your new job, just try to understand the new things. All right, this one is easy. Learn the ropes, right? The last one, he blamed me even though he broke the lamp. It's not fair. It's not fair. It's not cricket. Yes. Number 3, just not cricket. All right. And the first one was taken in A. Very good job so far, everyone. The next exercise says 8, match the expressions A to E with their appropriate response 1 to 5. So we need to match those with those ones. So let's read them together. The first one says, what do you think is the cause of immigration? Yes, so this is personally, I think here we have an opinion because we have a think. So personally, I think it's caused by unemployment. The second one, Ahmed is absent today, isn't he? So this is a question tag. Yes, he wasn't feeling very well this morning. So here I'm affirming that he is confirming that he is not here today and he wasn't feeling well. This is the reason. The next one, C, in my opinion, the consequences of global warming will be fatal. Yes, so we say number two, I couldn't agree more. When you agree and you have the same opinion, you say, I couldn't agree more. This is one of the ways. Right, the next one, Mom, I'm going to the library with Faisal. Right? Okay, so number five, very good. It might be a good idea to put on your coat. It's cold outside because he's going out. And the last one, you look pale. Are you okay? He said, yes. Number four, not really. I should see the doctor. Very good. Let's move on to the last part here, or the writing part. Promoting a tourist attraction. Make a poster to promote a tourist attraction in Kuwait. You want to give publicity or to let people come to this place. Choose one of these places. You have here several places. Number one option is a historical town or city, an interesting old building, or an area of natural beauty. So you choose whatever you like. Here, I gave you an example. I'm going to show in a minute. So describe the place. So number one, we're going to describe the place in 200 to 220 words. Draw a small map. If we can have this map showing where the place is, the location. Give information which will be useful for visitors. For example, what information? We can say how to get to the place, opening times, and cost. All right, it's easy. I think you can do it. So the example I gave here, do you know this place in Kuwait? Yes, it is the Green Island, your ideal family picnic spot. Right, so here I gave information. Opened in February 1988. It's a popular tourist attraction and a popular holiday retreat of Kuwait. Then he gave the location, Green Island, Arabian Gulf Strait near Kuwait Towers. If you have a map, you can have it here. As you can see, this is where the place is and directions. We gave more info like the telephone number to call to see the opening times, and then the entry fee for 1.5 KD per person. All right, so here we gave enough information about this place. You can do it. You have Kuwait Towers, you have a lot of islands to talk about, or any museum or place you think that people will be interested to visit. All right. Finally, this is your students' feedback, or this is your feedback. You're going to answer these questions to see the outcome of what you have learned so far. It's about reading, about listening, writing, and vocabulary, and so on. So these questions you have to do yourself so that you know where exactly you stand so far, or learned what up to now. All right. That's all, guys, for this lesson. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time in another asynchronous lesson. Until then, keep safe and goodbye.